The Great Lakes by Janet Piehl. Welcome to the Great Lakes. What makes the Great Lakes great? Their size makes them look great. The Great Lakes are a group of 5 huge lakes. All 5 Great Lakes can be seen in this photo taken from space. This is Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and Lake Ontario. You can see that 4 of them touch the state, while the 5th one does not. The Great Lakes are on the border of Canada and north-central United States. The Great Lakes are freshwater lakes. This means they don't contain salt water. The Great Lakes are all connected to one another. Rivers, smaller lakes, and canals join the lakes. The Great Lakes form the world's largest group of freshwater lakes. Lake Superior is a Great Lake. It's the coldest, biggest, and deepest of the lakes. It is also farther north and west than the other lakes. Lake Huron is another great lake. It is the second biggest Great Lake. Lake Huron has a large bay. A bay is a section of lake that is partly surrounded by land. Lake Huron and Lake Michigan meet at the Straits of Mackinac. The Straits of Mackinac is a narrow strip of water that connects the 2 Great Lakes. Lake Erie is the shallowest Great Lake. It's also the warmest. New York, Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania all border Lake Erie. Lake Ontario is the smallest Great Lake. It's the farthest east as well. Water from Lake Ontario flows into the St. Lawrence River. This river goes all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. The Great Lakes began forming millions of years ago. Huge moving sheets of ice called glaciers covered much of North America then. The glaciers carried away dirt and large rocks. They scooped out huge holes in the ground. Over time, the glaciers melted. Water from the glaciers filled the holes. Forests, wetlands, and sand dunes surround the Great Lakes. Cities also line the shore in some places. Many animals live around the Great Lakes. Black bears, deer, and foxes are among these. Some animals live right in the lake. Fish such as walleye, perch, and whitefish swim there. People also call the Great Lakes area home. People have lived near the lakes for many years. Native Americans lived there as many as 10,000 years ago. Native Americans took water and fish from the lakes. They hunted animals that lived nearby. The first Europeans to see the Great Lakes was a French explorer. His name was Samuel de Champlain. He visited Lake Huron in 1615. Soon, many Europeans came to the Great Lakes. They also fished and hunted near the lakes. They built cities, farms, and factories there as well. Ships carried goods and people around the lakes. People began dumping garbage and factory waste into the lakes. By the 1960s, the lakes were very polluted. The United States and Canada worked together to clean up the lakes. They made laws to limit what people could dump into the lakes. The lakes' waters are healthier, but we still have much work to do to keep the Great Lakes clean. Millions of people drink water that comes from the lakes. People also depend on goods from ships that sail the lakes. People enjoy the Great Lakes too. They visit beaches, forests, and wetlands. They swim, sail, and fish. They enjoy many things that make the Great Lakes great. Fun facts. One way to remember the Great Lakes is to think of the word homes. The letters for the first letters stand for each of the Great Lakes: Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior. Lake Huron has about 30,000 islands. Manitoulin Island is one of them. It's the world's largest island in freshwater. The Great Lakes do not usually freeze in winter. Only Lake Erie, the shallowest of the Great Lake, often freezes all the way across. Lake Superior is so big and holds so more water than all the Great Lakes combined. It's one of the largest lakes in the world. The Great Lakes area is home to millions of people. 1 in 4 Canadians live near the Great Lakes. 1 in 10 people in the United States live near the Great Lakes. The end.